Kia ora koutou, ko Mere Rangihuna tōku ingoa. I've got the privilege of being involved and a part of the Aktive whānau team, specifically in the role of event producer for Iwi of Origin event, which is, I guess, returning after a 4-year hiatus. So that was a real exciting piece for me in terms of landing at Aktive, and it was a nice fit in terms of WISPA space and being able to be close and connected to that mahi in the governance space, but also lead and bring back to life this really important kaupapa. So the Indigenous intent and statement that you may have come across came about through initially our Rōpu being set up, which was an advisory support group to women in sport Aotearoa. We seized the opportunity through that to support the program development to ensure that there was indigeneity weaved through. And the biggest theme that came out of that was the matariki theme. And so through that and building on that opportunity where that was embraced through our program broader group, which we're obviously grateful for, we then looked at how we could gather as a Indigenous group. And so took the opportunity to meet in Hui up at one of our local marae. And then through that wānanga came, sharing of stories, sharing of whakaaro, trying to understand each group's challenges, sharing stories around strategies that people had employed, remembering that we are well advanced than a lot of our other Indigenous groups as Māori. And so we again took that opportunity to support their aspirations through the intent, which has got 16 outcomes there. And so, it was a really important piece of mahi that we wanted to present to the steering group for the next IWG to say, hey, here it is. If we're going to be true to indigeneity and our Indigenous groups, here's what we're asking. So the Iwi of Origin event and kaupapa is pretty much taken off what we call our traditional pā wars, which are iwi games that happen across our motu. And so we wanted to look at what does that look like for urban Māori that live in Tāmaki Makaurau. And so it's a really unique position for us, but an exciting one. So taking what we know works really well around our Māori gathering for their traditional iwi games, and a lot of them have been running for years. So we looked at what could that look like for our urban Māori living in Tāmaki Makaurau, the biggest region and the greatest population of Māori as well. And of course, when we're doing any of this mahi, we're always looking at our women and girls in particular and ensuring that we're providing both leadership opportunity, we're building capabilities and capacity with our Māori sports sector. And ultimately, Iwi of Origin is about connecting whānau Māori to iwi, your whakapapa. Because through whakapapa, that's that whole deep, that's what's deep in us, is your toto and your blood and where you come from. And it's not about whether you got 1% or you're 100%. If you got Māori blood, you're Māori. No more Māori than the next person, but that's what your whakapapa is. So that's that cool piece about us developing and making sure we're delivering something that is by Māori, for Māori, as Māori. Looking ahead to our strategy for Iwi of Origin, and a key thing is around, and always will be, our women and girls space, our puni reos, our te reo, enacting and enabling and ensuring that it's a safe space for te reo Māori and tikanga Māori, regardless of where your entry level is. And so we're really excited to seed and explore, given year 2 is about the rebuild. This is about being courageous and going, actually, you know, here's what we're going to do, and be deliberate in our priorities for, we're already an Indigenous kaupapa Māori event, and now our focus is around our Māori women and girls space, but also our whānau Māori. And so really looking at how we can engage our kaumātua kuia for them to help inform, because they're critical. We've got to get them in the space in order for our wāhine Māori and our kōhine to learn through play and introducing our taonga tākaro Māori kaupapa sports over contemporary sports, and where we position ourselves. And we know that this is a great opportunity to really provide a space to grow our Māori women leaders, our rangatahi Māori leaders. When we're talking about tuakana teina, that's our kōhine that are in kura kaupapa Māori schools. You become a tuakana when somebody is at the entry level for te reo. Well, we want you to be unapologetic for speaking te reo. But in this case, I might be the elder, but actually you're the expert, so you're the tuakana, and I'm the teina in that situation. I think one of the greatest learnings that I've had, and possibly a takeaway for anybody, is to understand your lane. If you want to be on the ground and delivering, do that well, you know, and influence those that are in that space. For me, it's knowing that it's staying connected at all levels. And so that's your associations, because we don't want to walk away from, and many of us will stay in that operations and delivery mode forever and ever. But for me, I've chosen to strategically look at being around tables where the decisions are made.